Hey, what's up? It's Jimmy from Mechanic, and in today's workshop sessions we're going to have a look at the duck change. Now this is a super visual and easy to do colour change. Today's video is going to feature the Optricks Red Deck because there's a special gaff in this deck that works particularly well with the duck change as well as other colour changes. But I just want to show you how, just with some basic sleights combined with some of the Mechanic products, you can turn it from just a basic colour change into something way more. Now if you like the deck featured in today's video, the links are in the description below. Head over to MechanicIndustries.com and check it out. So I'm not just going to show you the duck change, I'm going to show you a little tip on how to make it more cleaner and more believable that it is just one card. Because sometimes I see this, people coming from a double lift, and it's a little bit obvious as to what's going on. So there's just a little hint I can show you, which is just going to clean this up and make it even more impossible. Here's the duck change. We can change one card into another card in the blink of an eye. And if we wanted to, we can just change that straight back. So that's the duck change. So with the Optricks deck, for instance, we can get such a different visual by using just the same basic move. Here's how to do the duck change, and I'm going to give you a little tip on how to clean this up as well at the end. So it's basically changing this top card into the second card. So they're going to be a back-to-back double lift. So effectively this is going to spin and it's going to change into this card, and then you end nice and clean. So the way I generally get into this, I'll push over the top two cards, and as I bring back, I'll keep a break under the second card. So I push over two, I grab the top card, and as I'm turning this over I get a break under here, and then I position this square. So now I've got my back-to-back double. So you can do that another way. For instance, sometimes I'll take this off to show one. As I'm showing here, I just pull down with my thumb a little bit, let this top card pop up a little bit, and I'll get a break. And then I'll come over and I'll position that on top. Now here's the little tip. So instead of just picking up the double from here and then going into the duck change, here's the little tip. So I get a break, I come over, I position this squarely. Now I make it look like I just push the top card forward. So in that instance I did just push the top card forward. So this kind of makes it more believable that it's just one card that's getting pushed forward. So this is my little tip on the duck change. So what I'm going to do is make it look like I push the top card, but in fact I'm going to push the top two cards. And how I do that is with the thumb. So from this angle you can't really see the thumb is contacting the back of this card. So I make it look from, so I show my spectators this view. So the thumb is hidden behind this index finger, and I really push this index finger forward. So the thumb is kind of back here, and I kind of push both the cards together with the thumb. So the top finger is not doing anything, it's actually the thumb that's going to push, but I make it look like I'm just pushing the top card over, but my thumb contacts the back to push the top two over. And then I can go into the duck change. So it's just a nice clean way to make it, to sell the fact that it's only the top card. So if you do this casually enough, so for instance, you can even do this. So get a double, break under the double, you push over the top card, you turn it over, and then immediately you do this. So it just sells it that it's a single card so much cleaner, rather than, you know, whatever double lift you're going to get from the back, and then, you know, it's kind of picking it up from here. It's just try and make it really casual. So even from a no break situation, push over the top two cards, get a break, and then you do this. So all you need to do is just clear that little bit of distance. This is raised off from the deck slightly, so that I can easily come in and do this so casually and pick this up. So it just makes it easier to pick up. So I can pick this up now to do the duck change. So that's just a little tip on how to get into the duck change. So push over, break under the next card, turn over, immediately just make it look like you just push over with a top finger, and it sells the fact that you're not having another card ride along. So just my little tip. So we're in position, we've got a double back to back. Now this is the grip, so it's mainly done between the middle and the thumb, middle finger and the thumb. So you're going to pick up, but you're going to have this kind of grip here. So we've got the middle finger, the first finger is just off the back, it's not really doing anything. And the ring finger is just on the very edge of the corner, and the thumb, you can see where that is, it's about halfway, just under halfway along, and it's clipped just in the middle of the thumb there. So that's the grip, really between the middle and the thumb, but the third finger is just there and the index finger is pressing down. So what we're going to do, we're going to pick up in that grip and we're going to cause the card to bend, the two cards to bend. So we pick up, cause it to bend, and then the index finger is going to press down. The trick here is to be sort of halfway here. So it's a nice sharp halfway point, you can see, because if you spring from here, it's not going to flick over, but we're going to spring from this side and it actually turns this over a half turn. So that's the main point, is to grip on one side of the card, the right hand side. Index finger kind of presses down as you cause this tension. So that's what's going to allow it to flick. And then we're going to increase the tension, and you don't have to have a great deal of tension, and it's going to spin round. So this is going to come off this fleshy kind of part of the index finger there. It's going to spring off here. So we squeeze, we build a little bit of tension, and then we just kind of let it gradually slide off this finger with a tiny bit of pressure from the first finger. Now to begin with, you'll be doing this quite scruffily. These cards will kind of land, they'll split and all this kind of stuff. But eventually, you'll be able to get this to spin over nice and clean. Now the trick here as well is to do it just at the right time. So it's not just getting the technique in this hand correct, it's doing it in the right time. So back, boom. So you'll start to feel this, and I'll show you a couple of times just how it is. So I come back and I let the flick happen. So I'm not coming back, stopping and then doing it. It's kind of done in this back motion, pop. So come back, pop. Come back, pop. So this is kind of what you want to get to, is you're coming back, pop. Now to catch this is quite easy. It's just going to go onto the deck and it should align. Once you get used to this, it should align. So it's just basically a catching, and then the index finger is just going to stop it from flying off the top of the deck. So the catching isn't too difficult with this. It's just a matter of keeping the index finger there, and then it will kind of rattle around in there. And if you can get it to this clean phase where there is no rattle, so there's no rattle, this is what we're really after. So it comes up, bam, it's clean, it lands, and then when it does land, you can thumb off very fairly the single card, show the back, and it's like an impossible change. So thumb, finger, push forward, pick up, tension, index finger, as you come back, pop. From there, thumb off the top card, turn it over to show it is just a single card. And that is the duck change. Now with the Optricks Red Deck and the Visualize deck, you can get a little bit more. So check this out, this visual you get just using this gaff that's in the Optricks Red. It's a lovely gaff. It uses an anamorphic sort of optical illusion technique. So when you hold it this way, it really looks like that queen has sunk into the deck. Now that works great with the duck change. So for instance, I can thumb over the top card, get a break under that gaff card, flip it over, do the little thumb push, everything forward. They just think it's this card. Now when I do the duck change, boom, it looks like the queen sinks straight into the deck. And you can just pause for a second, they'll be like, what the f is going on? And then you can pop, jump that straight back up and move on with any routine. So I love these gaff cards just to get a moment of what the f***ing hell's going on, and then yeah, you instantly bring them out of it. So it's just a little tip how you can use a basic sleight, the duck change, to create more of a moment. So now, instead of just a colour change, we've made it look like the Queen is sunk into the deck. So using the Gaff from the Optricks Red Deck, you can create a nice moment of wonder. So that is the duck change.